What's up, everyone? It is so good to see you again on this, what will be our final video of the pilot run of this series and of this channel. We're going to take a small break after this to put the pieces back together so that we can come back stronger with more songs in the future. But today, that's for a little bit later. Today, we are going to be listening to an incredible song from an incredible band that, if they aren't on your radar right now, very much should be. The song is called Sulphur Starlight, and it is by Dutch dark rock band DOOL. This song comes from their 2020 album Summerland, which was released just after the start of the 2020 lockdowns and quarantines. So I got to spend a lot of time with it, and it still holds up as one of my favorite albums of that year, and just means a lot to me because it got me through a lot of really rough times, you know, as we all went through. There was a time in April and May where the only way I could get outside and enjoy outside was through a fire pit in my backyard, and this is perfect dark, dusk, fire pit music. I vibe with Raven's vocals. I vibe with the way they use three guitarists for their melodies and their chords and their structures. I love how they combine proto-metal and prog and psychedelia and rock into this kind of occult package that would make them work really well with bands like Lucifer or Green Lung or even a band like Amun-Ra or something like that. There's just this like vibe, this veil that DOOL puts over their listeners and captures them in their universe. And this song in particular, it opens the album and it sets the tone for what you're going to be hearing for the next 50 minutes. And it has everything that this band is good at. Amazing guitars, understated solos, amazing vocal harmonies, Sabbathian fucking doom lines where fucking the bass is doing like a stank face guy right over here, and then the guitars come into it. I mean, we'll talk about it and we'll listen to it. I don't even know. I'm going off the rails already, and we haven't even listened to the song, but it's a really fucking good one. It's relatively simple structure as far as verse, chorus, you know, all of that shit goes, but it is amazing songwriting, and it uses that to great effect. So before we get into the song, this is a little bit about DOOL. DOOL is a Dutch rock band from Rotterdam whose name translates roughly to wandering. Fronted by singer and guitarist Raven van Dorst, the band also includes former members of the Devil's Blood. They have 2 albums to their credit right now, 2017's Here Now, There Then, and Summerland from 2020. As mentioned, their incantations include elements of prog, gothic rock, doom metal, and psychedelia. According to the band, bands like Sisters of Mercy, Alice in Chains, Sonic Youth, and Soundgarden are some of their main influence, although personally I can hear a fuck ton of Blue Oyster Cult in there as well. All of these musicians are insanely talented, and I cannot wait to see what this band does next. As of this recording, we are still way far away from any new music from them since 2020. So that's DOOL, and you've already heard me gushing about the band and this song, so let's wait no further, my friends. This is Sulphur Starlight from DOOL. Once more, as soon as those first notes hit, you are instantly in with the vibe. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do it. Settle in. Just gonna settle. Don't know what to do with my hands. Bass does a lot of work in this song, everybody. You will hear it stand out, just fucking trudging through the song. Fuck yeah. Song starts very understated before just exploding. production and the tone on those guitars just shivers down your spine. Adding little bits here and there, keep it interesting. Love their delivery. Alright, I'm about to lose my fucking shit, y'all. You ready? Let's go. Let's go! Wait for this fill right here. Yeah! These lyrics just suck you in. What are they talking about? Fucking back to that bass stomp right there. Yeah, that drum in that chorus. Every time. Every time. At no point has the verse been repeated without adding extra bits into it. The harmonies right there. In my mind's ear, I always hear a ride bell on that one. It's not there. Yeah. Listen to those harmonies in the back of the mix. Understated guitar solo fits perfectly with the song. I don't even call that a solo. Gonna go all Tony Iommi right here. Ready? When will you stop? Yeah! Yeah! Fuck, man! Can't you see there is no light shining? Fuck! Oh, I've never seen fortune in your flames. We're just falling. 2 fingers is all you need on that bass right there. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! man. I legitimately cannot tell you how many times I've heard that song. And I don't care how many times the chorus repeats in the song. I don't care how many times I hear it. It just still, right there in the chest every time. All right, let me take my, once every video cold shower, and we'll be back to talk about this shit. Just an absolutely wonderful opening track for an album. It does everything that it's supposed to do. It gets you into the music. It introduces you to this, what ideas the band have and what to expect going forward. And it makes you want to keep going. You want to hear more of that style and of that sound because they do it so fucking well. Huge shout out to Raven Van Dorst with the vocal harmonies, melodies, lines all over that. You can just feel the emotion coming from their voice. Also shout out to Job Van de Zand, I hope I said that name correctly, on the fucking bass, just powering through that song. That rhythm section was really a standout in a song full of standouts. The drum fill, you saw me doing it every time during the chorus to just give it that extra emphasis on it. And then from the get-go, that bass is just driving all the way through the song to even having a little standout moment on itself before the band comes in and fucking plays this like Ionian, Sabbathian, whatever it is. It sounds like fucking Black Sabbath and it sounds so good. This is what I'm talking about right here. Isolate on its own, and then makes you want to do fucking I don't even know. The song makes you want to put on a cloak and go stand out in the woods on a full moon lit night. Potentially there's some old stone ruins of a castle, a church, I don't know, in the background. But it's so evocative, and they do this with almost every one of their songs. Like, they bring you into their musical world, which I don't think is a small feat. A lot of good and complicated things in the song done very simply. That main opening riff that repeats over and over again, kind of like we heard with Butcher, right? It's just that through line throughout the song, and bringing it back one last time after that last interlude solo part that we just heard before bringing that final chorus in, and it's just slightly tweaked and slightly different. All those little details that we talk about all the time, adding little bits, even if it's just a small guitar line, in farther down in the mix to make those verses as they go along just build and build and build. The song starts down here, and by the end of it, we're up here just rolling. As far as the lyrics and the messaging and the story in this goes, for me, at least, when listening to the song and reading at the lyrics, I think that this is just a tale of a doomed romance that shouldn't be, but that still is. Lines like, "In your absence, I do prosper. In your radiance, I fade." Lines saying that I'm a much better person without you, and I feel small and insignificant when you're here, but yet I'm still with you. Like, there's no light shining anymore. I'm broken. I'm a shell of a person, and I need to be away with you, but for some reason, I just can't do that. And like powerful lines like this one coming up that were in the bridge between the first and second verse really hit home to kind of give credence to this one. Yeah, I mean, that sounds really bad. Keep you bruised and cornered in every layer of your hell, kind of speaks almost to abuse. And we know that in bad relationships and toxic relationships, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical abuse to be abuse, right? Maybe that's speaking towards that. Lines in here throughout, like this one and the verse right before the second chorus, for me, kind of sums this up very nicely after that other line that we just heard.
many secrets in your altar. Why do you eye the lies that flows? In the shadow of six, we are alike. In this futile romance of day and night.
The way that they just pick all of the chords, all of the strings, and have that nice textured, arpeggiated chord out there, just bring. It's just another one of those little tiny details all over that when they downpick it doing the same way to really give those chords and those lines dimension and life. So yeah, that I think speaks to this being some sort of toxic romance, toxic love affair that just can't be quit despite every party in it knowing that it's bad for them. I also like how this verse is putting some positives on this as well, saying, hey, look, there are so many great things about you. Why are you looking at all the negativity? Like, why are you idolizing these flaws that you have? But we're alike in that way, and that's why this is not going to work. The line, in the feudal romance of day or night, that could mean opposites, right? They're just two different people, or it could mean that there's good times and there's bad times, and it just is a cycle of that. Maybe both. I don't know. The idea that I have never seen fortune in your flames, I think speaks to that as well. Fucking divination magic and some shit. Like, can we glean out what the future is by staring into the fire? Lots of these themes repeat, not through just this album, but all of DOOL's work. And in fact, Falling Towers, the line, we're just falling towers. I had to look this up because I'm not well versed in the occult or any mysticism or anything like that, although I would like to be. But towers and tarot are associated with sudden change and maybe traumatic or catastrophic change, but change that after you go through it, you feel better as a person, potentially, right? I mean, it's all just in the mind of the beholder and the readers and shit like that, but I don't know if that has to do, but given their subject matter and stuff like that, I thought it was curious that we're just falling towers, speaking of this relationship, that we need to go through this traumatic event to break up or separating, whatever it is, before we can lead better lives together. And I think the nail in the coffin for this idea right here for me is this part right after that Black Sabbath riff that we just listened to before going into that final chorus. The band takes a step back and you hear Raven's voice very softly singing this line right here.
A sulphur rain is falling with acid drops.
To me, DOOL is very tuned in to this kind of idea, I feel like, that runs through their music, that there is something that weaves in between all of our lives that we just don't know about, that ties everything together. I could be reading that wrong, but that's the impression that I get from their music sometimes. There's just a lot out there that we don't know about, that people just kind of seem to ignore and forget, but that it's there. And this line right here kind of gets into that with a sulfur rain is falling with acid drops, tying into man-made climate change and shit like that. If you ignore a problem and let it go and let it fester, then that's what's going to happen. Acid rain is going to be coming down to really let you know, hey, you fucked up. You shouldn't have ignored this for so long and pushed it to the wayside. That's what I get from this song, I think, as far as the lyrics go. Lots that you could read into it, and I'm curious on what your thoughts are on it as well, as always. All right, what else do I have for this song? Nothing. Just go listen to it again. I hope it's stuck in your head right now already, and that you're going to be singing,
When will you stop pouring starlight over me?
for like the rest of time, like I'm going to be. I don't know. DOOL fucking rules, y'all. Listen to them. Well, my friends, that is going to do it for DOOL's Sulphur and Starlight. That's going to do it for the pilot section of this video series. Thank you so much for hanging with me, those of you that have been here from the start, those of you that have jumped on board, and those of you from future times that have joined us along the way. There are so many bands and songs I want to get to, and what other bands that you want to hear, let me know and get in there. So everybody, it has been amazing hanging out with you for more heavy metal, for more headbanging, and all of the like. So hey, like and subscribe on this. Share this with your friends. Word of mouth is a great way to spread the gospel of heavy metal, and you can bet that I will be doing that for all of these bands. That's what you're here for. So until I see you next time, everybody, stay heavy. Stay puffed.